back to my channel. So in today's video, we have a new piercing announcement. I am so excited to finally let you guys know that I finally got the other side of my nose pierced. Yay! Everybody cheer, everybody cheer, give a round of applause. This has been like, what, 6 years in the making that we've all been waiting for. It's finally happened. We got it, we did it. I can't believe it. So I'm here to tell you guys about it. So if you guys have been watching my channel for however long, every single year at the end of the year, I always do a future tattoos and piercings video. And for the last, I don't even know how many years, it's been a few at least, I have talked about getting the other side of my nose pierced. Now I have 2 on this side that I've had for years, and I only had 1 on this side. And I talked about how I wanted to even up the scale, how I wanted to get the other side of my nose pierced, and I've talked about it, I've talked about it, I've talked about it, but I never went and got it done. Why? I honestly couldn't tell you. I went and got a labret piercing before I got the other side of my nose pierced. I don't know why. I just kept putting it off for some reason. Well, that time has officially come to an end because she's here, baby. She's right there. She's freshly pierced. She looks great. So last week, exactly a week ago, literally exactly a week ago, like down to the time, I went and got the other side of my nose pierced. Now, there is a full story and everything behind it. It was a very weird experience. I did not go to my regular piercer for this. I went to a different shop. I went to the same shop that I went and got my Medusa done at. I went to that one again. So last week, last Saturday, I was just sitting at home. It was a day off from work, and I was just kind of like bump on the log. I was just kind of feeling a little bit down, and my partner was like, hey, like, let's go get out of the house. I don't care what we do, let's just get out of the house. So I was like, okay, fine. Went upstairs, put some clothes on, and we were driving, and we didn't know where we were driving to. We were just driving. And he was like, so what do you want to do? And I was sitting there and I was like, you know what would really make me happy right now? A new piercing. And that's when I thought, I think today's the day where I'm finally going to get the other side of my nose pierced, because I've been putting it off for way too long, as you guys know. I looked at him and I was like, let's head over to blah, blah, blah. And I named the shop that I wanted to go to. And he was like, really? Why? And I was like, because I'm about to go get a new piercing. And he was like, oh, like, what are you going to get this time? Like, my boyfriend is someone who he's not like the alternative kind of person. He has 1 tattoo, he has no piercings, and me, I love tattoos and piercings. Like, I'm constantly getting them, I'm constantly like thinking about new body mods to get, so whenever I'm like, let's go get a new piercing, he's like, ugh, you know? But he was like, okay, fine, like, I got you out of the house, that's all that matters, let's go. So we go to the shop and I walk in, and I didn't make an appointment or anything, I literally just walked in, and I was like, hey, do you guys have time to do a piercing? And they were like, heck yeah, like, what do you want to get? And I was like, I want to get the other side of my nose pierced. I have 2 over here, 1 over here. I want to even it up. So I filled out all the paperwork. It was $25 total, including the price of jewelry and everything, to get the piercing. So I paid the money, filled out the paperwork, and it was honestly like, I talked about it when I got my Medusa pierced. Like, getting my Medusa pierced was really fast. Like, this shop that I went to is insanely fast, like almost scary fast on how quickly they do piercings. And I didn't go to my regular piercer. She wasn't available, and I wasn't gonna wait anymore. I was already out of the house. So I was like, let's go do a walk-in at this shop. I know of this shop. I've been to this shop before. So I was like, let's go there. Now, it was not the same piercer that did my Medusa piercing. It was someone different, and it was low-key kind of like an awkward experience, because after I filled out the paperwork and stuff, as soon as I sat back down, he just like, you ready? Come on, let's go, you ready? I was like, yeah, like, okay, like, let's do this. So I walk into the piercing room, and I did not film the piercing because this shop that I went to, they do not allow recordings of piercings or anything like that. They are strictly like no cameras allowed, which is really unfortunate because you guys know I like to film literally every single tattoo and piercing that I get. Like, when I got my Medusa done, I low-key had to like sneak it and like kind of angle my camera, so I shouldn't have done that, but yeah, I did not record this one because this guy probably would have like cut my head off. And so I go in the piercing room and I sit down, and he wasn't saying anything. Like, he wasn't talking to me. And that's like super awkward. Like, I am allowing you to stab me with a needle. At least like ask me how I am, you know what I mean? But he was very quiet. He did not really talk. So I'm sitting there and he's kind of getting things like set up, you know, opening everything and whatever. And I'm just kind of like, so how are you doing today? You know, like trying to be super friendly. And he's just like, as he's putting his gloves on, he looks at me, he goes, I'm doing, and like snaps the glove. And I was like, that good, huh? Like, you know, just trying to be like friendly, like cheesy small talk, you know what I mean? And he just was not saying anything. And he was like, all right, like what side? And I pointed to this side and I was like, I want them, you know, evened up with this one over here. I want it to be super symmetrical. And he literally like looked at me, went like this with his pen and like did a little like something like this, marked it, and he was like, go look in the mirror. And I was like, okay. So I go look in the mirror, everything looked good. I was like, okay, it looks good, like let's do this. And you know, still trying to be like really friendly with this guy, but he was not saying anything. So I sit back down, and usually like what I'm used to with my piercer is she'll like, you know, talk me through it. She'll be like, okay, I'm gonna use a 16 gauge, I'm gonna use this kind of jewelry, blah blah blah. And then she'll always be like, okay, are you ready? And, you know, she'll count me down, take a deep breath in, breathe out. You know, that's what I'm used to. You guys, this guy was so quiet and not saying, are you okay? What's the matter, honey? This guy was so quiet and not saying anything. As soon as I sat back down, like I wasn't even sitting for 10 seconds. The second my butt hit the piercing chair, he had the needle and he just went for it. Like okay, come here. All right, I'm sorry. My dog wanted to come up here and sit on my lap. So I sit in the chair, not even sitting down for 10 seconds. He puts the tube right here, like the little feeding tube for the needle to go in. He puts the tube there, puts the needle in, and just pierces me. He doesn't count down. He doesn't ask if I'm ready. He just does it. And I was like kind of shocked. I mean, thankfully, I have gotten enough piercings where to the point where the pain doesn't really startle me anymore. It doesn't really like affect me anymore. So it more or less just shocked me that he didn't even tell me he was gonna go. Like, what if I needed to adjust my body real quick? Or what if I, you know, wasn't even fully sitting down yet? Like, it was an insanely fast, quiet, awkward, strange experience. It was it was the strangest piercing experience I ever had. And as soon as he pierced me, you know, it felt like a nose piercing. I'm gonna do a whole video because I have had my nose pierced 8 times, okay? It's a whole story. I'm gonna do a separate video on that. So, I mean, it felt like a nose piercing, okay? It's nothing I haven't felt before. It felt just like any other nose piercing. And, you know, I'm sitting there, and as soon as the needle goes in, he immediately grabs the jewelry and feeds the jewelry in. And I've always been this way, but every time I get a new piercing, I always close my eyes. Because while I'm not necessarily afraid of needles, I don't really like to look at the piercing needle before it pierces me, if that makes sense. So every time I know it's about to happen, I close my eyes. But he was so quick, I almost didn't have time to close my eyes. Like, it was crazy fast, awkward experience. So after he puts the jewelry in, I open my eyes, and Avi, if you've ever had your nose pierced, then you know your eyes water like crazy, right? So my eyes are watering, I have tears running down my eyes, and I'm like using my sweatshirt to kind of like dab like the tears coming down my eyes, because it's a nose piercing, right? Like, it makes your eyes water. And he doesn't offer me a tissue. He doesn't offer me anything to like clean up my mascara or anything. As soon as he's done piercing me, he goes, all right, 2 to 3 months, you can change it. You're all set. Have a good day. I was like, okay, thank you. Like, have a good day. And I just like walked out. Like, literally, I walked into the shop and I walked out of the shop in less than 10 minutes. Less than 10 minutes. That is the quickest piercing experience I ever had. Now, it wasn't bad. He did not do a bad job at all. Everything was clean and sterile. I made a point to watch what he was doing when he was like opening everything up to make sure, because he was just being like kind of, I don't want to say rude, because I don't consider someone being quiet rude, because I'm quiet and I'm not rude, but I was just like, I don't really know you all that well, so I'm gonna like watch what you're doing, you know what I mean? and everything was like clean and sterile and, you know, all that good stuff. He didn't even say more than 2 sentences to me. It was a very awkward experience, and I was like, well, I mean, I guess this is what I get for not going to my regular piercer, because fuck. But aside from that, the piercing has been absolutely great. So here is what my nose looks like. I do have a scar right here from a previous nose piercing that I have taken out, so just kind of ignore that, but there is the new piercing right there. It is exactly a week old, like I said. Yes, I'm wearing makeup today, I know, but I have not been wearing makeup on my face. This is my first time wearing makeup in quite a while, actually, but I do have makeup on today. Here is the jewelry. I believe it is a corkscrew, I'm pretty sure he used in there. This is still the initial jewelry. I have not changed it yet. I don't plan on changing it for quite a while. All right, if you can hear that, I'm sorry. There's like a couple of crotch goblins outside screaming and playing, so just try to ignore that if you can hear it. Hopefully you can't, but just in case, just, you know, ignore that. It has been a insanely easy healing process so far. I would say in total, the first full day was honestly the sorest it was. Like every time I would yawn, you know, like when you yawn, your nose flares, and every time you flare your nose with a new nose piercing, it hurts. So every time I would yawn, it would be a little bit sore. But ever since then, it has been insanely smooth healing. Like I said, I've had my nose pierced a total of 8 different times. So the whole healing process and the pain, I'm incredibly used to when it comes to my nose. So it's been really easy. The only thing I've been doing as far as cleaning is my Neomed piercing aftercare spray, like the saline spray. I've been using that a couple times a day, and then every night in the shower, I will wash it with antibacterial soap. Just kind of wash her on the inside. I do not rotate the jewelry. I do not pull it out, anything like that. I literally just leave it in place where it is and just really kind of clean the outside of it with antibacterial soap. Do that for about a minute. Rinse it off really good and dry it really good with paper towel. And then the saline spray, just like in the morning, afternoon, you know, that kind of thing. So it's a really easy cleaning process. I feel like back in the day when I started getting piercings, I was really kind of over cleaning it. Whereas this, as I'm getting older and I have more experience with piercings, I definitely kind of take a much easier, less is more approach, and that's been working really well for me. So that is how I'm cleaning it. I do not plan on changing it for at least another month and a half or so. So I'm just gonna be rocking this little stud for a while. So here it is. Here is my nose completely finished. Finally, after years of talking about it, it is finally done. So I have 2 on each side now and my septum. We are perfectly symmetrical now, guys. I can't even believe it. You know, and I always wondered, when am I gonna make a video about my 2nd or 4th, 8th nose piercing? And the day is finally here. So here it is. Here is my nose. We finally have 2 on each side now. I actually really kind of like the look of the 2 studs in the hoop. This side, this is a different kind of stud that I'm wearing, so it doesn't match perfectly. I don't have anything that looks just like this, so it was kind of hard to match it up, but I did, you know, the best I could to kind of give you guys like a look of how it looks, if that makes sense. But yeah, there it is. It does not hurt at all right now. It is maybe like the slightest bit tender if I like do flare my nose. It is a little bit tender, but other than that, it has been fantastic. Like there is only, I mean, I have makeup on right now, so you can't really tell. There is a little bit of redness, but not bad. I'm not having any crusty so far. Like I said, today is the 1 week mark. I got it pierced a week ago. Yeah, I'm insanely happy with it. It looks really good. I love it. Even though the experience was a little bit on the awkward potato side, I'm still really happy with it. And I'm not saying that I would never go to that shop again. I totally would. Like, they have really good piercers there. All of their jewelry is titanium, really good high quality stuff. So it's not a bad shop. It was just a really awkward experience. Like, I don't want to rag on the shop or rag on the piercer. It was just weird for me because that's not what I'm used to. Like, my piercer that I go to regularly, like my regular piercer, me and her are friends. Like, so we talk, we joke, you know, it's a very like joyful, calm experience. But it made me wonder, because after I walked in, literally, I'm not even kidding you, this shop is really like famous and known for like their walk-in easy piercings. And as soon as I walked in, there was like 4 other people that walked in that were also getting their nose pierced. And a few of them, it was their first time. So I'm just hoping that for their first time, the piercer was a little bit more talkative. I don't know if he was like that with me because like I'm fully pure, so he was just like, nah, she'll be fine, like whatever. But I'm hoping for those other people, for their first time, I'm really hoping that it was more of a comfortable experience for them and wasn't as awkward as it was for me. As far as like getting it pierced, did it hurt? I mean, it felt like a pinch, but again, I'm so used to getting my nose pierced. Like, you could pierce my nose literally 6 times in a row and I wouldn't even notice. Like, I'm just so used to it. So, I mean, yes, it hurt. It's a piercing. It's a needle going through cartilage. It's gonna be a little bit tender, but it honestly was not bad. Like, it was not bad at all. I think by the second or third day, I completely forgot it was there, and I would like, you know, go to blow my nose or like rub my nose really hard, and I would be like, oh yeah, there's a piercing there. And after it does heal, I know I get a lot of questions about this, is like, how do you blow your nose with all those piercings? How do you like clean your face with all those piercings? After they're healed, you don't even realize they're there. You can blow your nose like normal if you didn't have any piercings. You can pick your nose like normal as if you didn't have piercings. Like, it's just the healing process makes it a little bit weird to do things, you know what I mean? But after they're healed, you don't even know they're there. At least I don't. Like, my piercings are just like a part of my body at this point. Like, I just don't even notice that they're there or not. Here is the final look of my nose. I really hope that you guys like it. If you guys want to see a video on how I clean my nose piercing, please let me know down below and I will do a video on how I clean it really up close and in depth. I think I've done that before in the past, but I think it's been many years since I've done that. I apologize if this video was a little bit drawn out and a little bit longer. I just really wanted to share like the full experience from literal start to finish, just to kind of give you guys the full gist of everything. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know down below what you think of my new piercing. What do you think of everything all together? I'm feeling very complete. The only thing that's driving me nuts is this part of my ear is looking quite empty. Okay, we got to do something about this. I'm not a fan. That's a lot of empty space there. It's driving me bananas. If you guys enjoyed this video, please go down and give it a huge thumbs up to celebrate with me for finally getting the other side of my nose pierced. Holy cow. If you guys are new to my channel and this is the first video of mine that you are seeing, please go down and hit that red subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. I would love to have you join the family. But as for the rest of you, I love you guys so very much, and I will see you very soon in my next video. I love you guys. Bye. Mwah.